What do you think of the phenomena that is happening in China, where many unemployed adult children live for free with their parents in exchange for cleaning the house, grocery shopping, and cooking, and don't have any plans to move out? It's step 1 of China's demographic collapse that is happening as a result of the one baby law. There's not enough young workers to be builders to build new houses, for example. Worse, these young men with no job and who won't start a family because the gender ratio is something like 107:100 in the 30-year-old demographic, their parents won't be able to support them forever. In fact, culture dictates all these workers will have to support their parents, who outnumber them heavily. This is a story as old as time. However, it works best in larger families. As long as they make sure someone in every generation is able to bring in money, and someone in each generation is using the money responsibly to manage family needs, they're alright. However, if a couple only has one child, and they are living communally, it gets risky if their child specializes in either eating or housekeeping, as both are needed. I think it's not just China. My husband and I live with his father in a very nice half-basement apartment. We help with things his disabled dad needs, including some basic medical knowledge for treatment. There's nothing inherently wrong with multiple generation homes, especially since those are common in a lot of countries and cultures. As long as the arrangement is beneficial to all involved, it's a perfectly fine way to live. Looks great on a resume when they do finally look for a job. Thanks for applying to XYZ Technologies. Just a few questions. After college, I noticed it says here you have 12 years experience as a residential maintenance engineer with Mom's Basement Industries, with experience interfacing with advanced graphical software in an interactive environment. Could you elaborate on that? That's just normal. You'd see that in the majority of the world. Kicking out kids and throwing them to the wolves when they hit 18 isn't a norm. This is mostly an American culture thing. It just happened that right now in China they have an unemployment crisis. However, even if they did get jobs, it isn't weird to stay with your parents as long as you're providing your fair share. I was kind of doing this with my folks in Canada. Unfortunately for them, I found out I have cancer. So now they have to endure me leeching off of them while I slowly die. I feel bad, my life didn't amount to much. I was in the middle of turning the second half of my life into something. I got halfway through my program at university. Life is unpredictable like that. It seems like another example of how the concept of filial piety meets the demands of modern life. If you don't know, filial piety is a Confucian concept outlining the duties of an individual to their family and to the state. The concept can be seen in many practices in modern China. I'd argue that the traditional nuclear family of a mother and father living with only their children is actually the historical anomaly. Many societies for many years have had more varied living arrangements, with grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins in the same house. I would rather live in a tent than with my parents or family members. I love them and they are great, but we are like oil and water when we are living under the same roof. I understand the benefits of generational homes, but it's not for everyone. I have a myriad of thoughts on the issue, which I will present now. First and most importantly, we have to consider. Sorry guys, my mom needs me to change the filter in the air purifier and check on the casserole. I'll answer this later. The issue in China is no jobs for young people, so they'd be homeless, living on the street otherwise. Would you want your child living on the street, or with you, and helping around the house? Easy answer. We've been seeing a similar trend, with an uptick of 20s and 30s-year-old Americans moving back home. It's a sign of lack of jobs that pay well enough to live on indoor and sustainable work environments. I have no problem with this, it's pretty much what I do here in the States. Then again, I'm disabled. Granted, sometimes I'm not able to help my mom out, but I try to at least do laundry for her. Never heard of that, but sounds like a temporary and unsustainable game plan. Parents don't live forever and can't work forever. Eventually they will pass and you will have to step up. Nothing? Imagine what life could be like if we could separate the value of a human life from their ability to produce surplus wealth for others. Maybe communism does work. There are a lot of multi-generational families living in one house here SoCal. People across the street are Armenian. Their full-grown kids in their 30s still live at home. I don't know if that shit is true, but if it is, I'd suspect that a high cost of living or a choked-up job market, or both, are involved. Nothing. I'm old enough to realize that any hasty opinion on this topic is childish and useless, since I don't live with those families. The mentality in the East isn't the same as that of the West. It's probably considered barbaric to kick your children out at the age of 18. Sounds like a reasonable exchange and arrangement for all involved. Multi-generational homes are very common outside of the US. As an unemployed 40 years old Italian, I think it's terrible. I expect my mom to clean and cook for me, not the other way. I think homemaking is labor. Sounds like they have full-time jobs and their compensation is room and board. You should probably still try to be an adult. Your house can't require 8 hours a day of cleaning. Sounds like they have no future, and when their parent die they are going to be up shit's creek. Sounds pretty sweet until you realize you need to live with your folks indefinitely. I wish I had a live-in butler. Would be nice. I'd be down for that arrangement. In 20 years when those parents start dying there's gonna be a crisis. They have such a policy. I think it is done with a certain meaning. 996 not working? Should open up button factories again.